How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, June 17th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review yesterday's Elite matchups and performances from June 16th, 2021. And first off, I want to thank ESPN.com, NBA.com, NHL.com, MLB.com, and UEFA.com for giving me of course, the numbers and the facts and the figures that I need in order to do the show. So without further ado, I'm going to get it started with the NBA in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, it was Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinal matchup between the first seed Philadelphia 76ers hosted the 5th seed Atlanta Hawks. And in this matchup, the 5th seed Atlanta Hawks would come back from being down by as much as 26 to beat the first seed Philadelphia 76ers to gain a 3-2 series lead. In this matchup, the difference was the second half. The Sixers would end up outscoring the Atlanta Hawks by 14 in the first and by 8 in the second. They were up by 22 at halftime. The Atlanta Hawks would outscore the Sixers by 4 in the third quarter to make it an 18-point game, and they would outscore Philadelphia by 21 points in the fourth quarter to win the game by 3. For the Philadelphia 76ers, their leading scorer was their elite starting center, Joel Embiid. He finished with 37 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks and 5 turnovers in 39 minutes as he shot 12 for 20 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 11 for 13 from the foul line. Alongside him, their starting shooting guard, Seth Curry out of Duke, would finish with 36 points, and 7 rebounds alongside 2 steals in 38 minutes as he shot 13 for 19 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Joel Embiid and Seth Curry were the only 2 players to actually have made field goals in the second half, and alongside those 2, their elite starting point guard Ben Simmons would finish with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists in 38 minutes as he shot 2 for 4 from the field and 4 for 14 from the foul line. For the Atlanta Hawks, their leading scorer was their elite starting point guard, Trae Young. He finished with 39 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals in 40 minutes as he shot 10 for 23 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 17 for 19 from the foul line. With this win, the Atlanta Hawks now hold a 3-2 series lead over the first seed Philadelphia 76ers. Game 6 will be played on Friday. That game will be on ESPN, as many people are going to be looking forward to what's going on there, as one more win for the Atlanta Hawks could secure a ticket for them into the Eastern Conference Finals as a 5 seed, and a win here could even up the series in Philadelphia, but the game is going to be in Atlanta. Looking at what was going on in the other game, in Salt Lake City, the first seed Utah Jazz hosted the 4th seed Los Angeles Clippers, who were playing without arguably their best player, their goated small forward Kawhi Leonard, and the Los Angeles Clippers would end up winning this game 119-111. The big difference in this game was the third quarter, where the Los Angeles Clippers outscored the Jazz by 14 points. For the Utah Jazz in this matchup, their leading scorer was their starting small forward, Bojan Bogdanovic. He finished with 32 points in 39 minutes, shooting 10 for 20 from the field, 9 for 17 from 3, and he would go to shoot 3 for 4 from the foul line on the night. Alongside him, their elite starting shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell, would finish with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 38 minutes as he shot 6 for 19 from the field, 4 for 14 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line. For the Los Angeles Clippers on the night, their leading scorer was their elite starting shooting guard, Paul George. He finished with 37 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 assists alongside 2 blocks and 5 turnovers in 40 minutes as playoff P shot 12 for 22 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3, and 10 for 11 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Marcus Morris, would finish with 25 points in 40 minutes as he shot 10 for 16 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the foul line. And their starting point guard, Reggie Jackson, would finish with 22 points and 2 steals in 37 minutes as he shot 8 for 15 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the 4th seed Los Angeles Clippers have taken a 3-2 series lead over the number 1 Utah Jazz, as both 1 seeds lost yesterday. But Game 6 will be played in the Staples Center on Friday as the Clippers host the Jazz. That game will be on ESPN, so that will be another game that many people are going to be looking forward to. Those are the 2 games in the NBA playoffs. Looking at what's going on in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Las Vegas Golden Knights the winners of the Western Division hosted the winners of the North Division, the Montreal Canadiens, and the North Division champs would beat the Golden Knights 3-2 after scoring 2 goals in the first and 1 in the second. Their right winger Byron would finish with a goal himself, and of course their goalie Carey Price would finish with 29 saves on the day. He would be the third star of the day for the night, and with this win, the Montreal Canadiens have evened the series up at 1. Games 3 and 4 will be played in Montreal, and of course, many of you are going to be looking forward to those. And right now, that is what hockey is looking like at this very moment, as Game 3 will be played on Friday. That'll, of course, the highly anticipated matchup in the NHL. I'm looking out to what's going on in baseball. Starting off in St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted the Miami Marlins, who were able to pull off a 1-0 win off of a walk-off RBI single from Yadier Molina in the bottom of the ninth. For the Miami Marlins, the start and the loss would go to Sandy Alcantara. He would allow 1 run in 8.1 innings pitched as he struck out 7. He was pitching the entire game, and he was the one that gave it up. They can't be mad at him for it. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their second baseman, John Berti. He went 2 for 3 on the day. For the St. Louis Cardinals in this matchup, the start would go to Johan Oviedo. He would allow no earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win will go to the St. Louis Cardinals closer Ryan Helsley, as Helsley allowed no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this win, Helsley is now 4-4 as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, their center fielder Dylan Carlson will go 2 for 4 on the day. He was the only St. Louis Cardinal with more than 1 hit, as Yadi went 1 for 4 with an RBI. With this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 35-33, and with this loss, the Miami Marlins are now 29-39. Jumping out to Kansas City, the Kansas City Royals hosted the Detroit Tigers, and the Tigers were able to pull off a 6-5 win after scoring 5 of their runs in the final 3 innings. For the Kansas City Royals in this matchup, the start will go to Brady Singer. Singer allowed 1 earned run in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 2, and the loss would end up going to Greg Holland. Greg Holland allowed 3 earned runs in 0.1 inning pitched. With his loss, he is now 2-2 on the season as he blew his 3rd save. In their batting lineup, their left fielder, their elite left fielder, Whit Merrifield, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman, Carlos Santana, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run as well. Their elite designated hitter, Salvador Perez, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 17th home run of the season. And then their second baseman, Hanser Alberto, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. For the Detroit Tigers, the start and the win would end up going to Tariq Skubal. He allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The save would go to their closer, Michael Fulmer. He allowed 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he struck out 1. He now has 5 saves on the year. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Akil Baddoo, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their first baseman, Jonathan Scope, would go 3 for 5. Their right fielder, Nomar Masada, would end up going 2 for 5 with an RBI. And their second baseman, Willie Castro, would go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run, as he hit his 6th home run of the season. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are now 29-39, and with this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 30-37. Jumping out to the south side of Chicago, the Chicago White Sox hosted the Tampa Bay Rays and were able to pull off an 8-7 win off of a walk-off single from Yasmani Grandal. For the Tampa Bay Rays, the start will be given to Ryan Yarbrough. He allowed 5 earned runs in 6.1 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss would go to the Rays closer, Pete Fairbanks. Pete Fairbanks will go on to allow 1 run in 0.1 innings pitched. With his loss, he is now 1-1 as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. For the Chicago White Sox in this matchup, the start went to Lucas Giolito. Giolito allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. And the win would be given to the Chicago White Sox closer, Ryan Burr. Burr allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. With this win, Burr is now 1-0 as a closer. In their batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Tim Anderson, went 2 for 5 with a run on the day. Their left fielder, Andrew Vaughn, would end up going 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs. And then their catcher, who wasn't Yasmani Grandal but Zach Collins, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on the day. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 43-25, and with this loss, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 43-26, as now the Chicago White Sox have the best record in the American League. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Brewers hosted the Cincinnati Reds as the Reds were able to pull off a 2-1 win over the Brewers. They were able to break their tie in the 7th inning thanks to a RBI double from Tucker Barnhart. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start and the loss would go to Freddie Peralta, who would allow 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, Freddie Peralta is 6-2 on the season for the Brewers. In their batting lineup, their first baseman Daniel Vogelbach would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start and the win would be given to Tyler Mahle. Tyler Mahle would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 12. With this win, Tyler Mahle is now 7-2 on the season, and then the save would be given to their closer Lucas Sims. Sims allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out all four of the outs he registered were strikeouts. In their batting lineup, nobody on the team had more than 1 hit, and their center fielder Naquin and their catcher Tucker Barnhart were the only 2 Reds with RBIs. With this win, the Cincinnati Reds are now 35-31, and with this loss, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 38-30. Jumping out to Denver, the Colorado Rockies hosted the San Diego Padres. They were able to pull off an 8-7 walk-off win thanks to a single from Charlie Blackmon. For the San Diego Padres in this matchup, the start will go to their elite starting pitcher, Blake Snell. He allowed 7 earned runs in 3.1 innings pitched as he was only able to strike out 1 batter. The loss will go to the Padres closer, Austin Adams. Adams allowed 1 earned run without registering an out. With this loss, he is now 2-1 as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr. would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He would go on to hit his 21st home run of the season. Alongside him, their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Also, their center fielder, Trent Grisham, will go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run on the day. For the Colorado Rockies in this matchup, the start will go to Kyle Freeland. He allowed 5 earned runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. And the win for the Colorado Rockies would go to their closer, Carlos Estevez, despite the blown save. He would allow 1 run in 1 inning pitched as he was unable to get a strikeout. But with this win, Estevez is now 2-0 as a relief pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. In their batting lineup, their left fielder, Raimel Tapia, would go 3 for 5 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Trevor Story, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs. Trevor Story would have a good game for himself. And then their catcher, who in this matchup happened to be Elias Diaz, he went 3 for 3 with an RBI and a run as Diaz would hit his 2nd home run of the season. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are now 28-41, and with this loss, the San Diego Padres are now 38-32. We're now jumping out to the Bay. The Oakland Athletics hosted the Los Angeles Angels, and they were able to put up an 8-4 win as they scored 6 of their runs in the 6th inning to come from behind to win. For the Los Angeles Angels, the start would end up going to Griffin Canning. Canning would allow 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 2, and the loss will go to the relief pitcher Tony Watson, the first one. He would blow his 3rd save of the season as he allowed 6 earned runs without registering an out. With this loss, Watson is now 2-3 on the season. In their batting lineup, their designated hitter Shohei Ohtani would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Ohtani hit his 19th home run of the season, and then their third baseman Phil Gosselin would go 2 for 3 with an RBI. For the Oakland Athletics, the start would be given to Cole Irvin. Irvin would allow 4 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2, and the win would be given to the Athletics' first relief pitcher, Birch Smith. He allowed no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 1, and with this win, he is now 1-0 on the season. In their batting lineup, their first baseman, Matt Olson, will go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. The only other player to finish with more than 1 hit was their pinch-hitting outfielder, Chad Pinder. He went 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run, and with this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 43-27 with the best record in the American League West, and with this loss, the Los Angeles Angels are now 33-35. Jumping out to Washington, D.C., the Nationals hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates and were able to pull off a 3-1 win at home after scoring 2 runs in the 7th inning. For the Pittsburgh Pirates in this matchup, the loss would end up going to their starting pitcher, Chase DeYoung. He allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, he is now 0-1. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than one hit was their center fielder. They had two players with more than one hit, actually. Their center fielder, Brian Reynolds, went 2 for 4 with an RBI. And then their pinch-hitting catcher, Jacob Stallings, will go 2 for 2 as well. For the Washington Nationals, the win will go to their starting pitcher, Paolo Espino. He would allow no earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, Paolo Espino is now 2-3, or he is now 1-2 on the season as a starting pitcher. And in their batting lineup, their first baseman Josh Bell will go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 RBIs and a run on the day. And their catcher Yan Gomes would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Washington Nationals are now 30-35 on the season, and with this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 23-44. Jumping out to Buffalo, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the New York Yankees, and the Yankees were able to pull off a 3-2 win on the road after scoring 2 runs in the 7th inning to come from behind thanks to a Gary Sanchez 2-run homer. For the Toronto Blue Jays, the start and the loss would be given to Ross Stripling. He allowed 2 earned runs in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 9. With this loss, Ross Stripling is now 2-4 as a starting pitcher for the Blue Jays this season. In their batting lineup, their left fielder, Teoscar Hernandez, was the only player with more than one hit. He went 2 for 4. For the New York Yankees, the start and the win went to their elite starting pitcher, Garrett Cole. He allowed 2 earned runs in 8 innings pitched as he struck out 4, and the save would be given to Aroldis Chapman. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he struck out 1. He would pick up his 14th save of the season. And in their batting lineup, nobody would finish with more than 1 hit. However, Gary Sanchez, their catcher, would he would pinch hit. He went 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run on the day as he had his 10th home run of the season. With this win, the New York Yankees are now 35-32, and with this loss, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 33-33. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Baltimore Orioles and were able to pull off an 8-7 win at home after scoring 5 runs in the 3rd inning alone. For the Baltimore Orioles in this matchup, the start and the loss would go to Keegan Akin. Atkin would allow 8 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this loss, Atkin is now 0-2 as a starting pitcher on the season, and in their batting lineup, their first baseman, Trey Mancini, would go 3 for 5 with 3 runs. Their shortstop, Freddie Galvis, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their designated hitter, Ryan Mountcastle, would go 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and a run as Mountcastle hit his 9th home run of the season. And their third baseman, Michael Franco, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. And for the Cleveland Indians in this matchup, the win would go to Aaron Savali. He allowed 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, Aaron Savali is 10-2 on the season as a starting pitcher, and the save would go to Emmanuel Clays. He would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he struck out 1, and that's his 11th save of the season. In their batting lineup, their elite third baseman, Jose Ramirez, would end up going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs, as he would go on to have a pretty good. He hit his 15th home run of the season, and their left fielder, Eddie Rosario, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI, and their center fielder, Bradley Zimmer, would go 2 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 37-28, and with this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 22-45. Jumping out to New York, the Mets hosted the Chicago Cubs as the leader of the NL East was able to pull up a 6-3 win at home. For the Chicago Cubs, the start and the loss would end up going to Robert Stock. He allowed 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3 on the day. With this loss, Robert Stock is now 0-1 on the season. In their batting lineup, nobody was able to register more than 1 hit. That can be attributed to great pitching from the New York Mets. And for the Mets, the start will be given to their elite starting pitcher, Jacob deGrom. deGrom would allow no earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 8, and he had to leave early kind of due to a little shoulder soreness. The win would go to the New York Mets' first relief pitcher, Sean Reed Foley. Foley would allow 1 earned run in 2 innings pitched as he was unable to strike out any batters. With this win, Reed Foley is now 2-0 as a relief pitcher this season, and the save will go to Edwin Diaz. Diaz allowed no earned runs as he only registered 1 out, but that was his 14th save of the season. In their batting lineup, the center fielder would go. Their center fielder, Kevin Pillar, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs, as he would hit his 5th home run of the season. He'd be the only player on the Mets roster with more than 1 hit on the day, the only player who played in the game with more than 1 hit. With this win, the New York Mets are now 35-25, and with this loss, the Chicago Cubs are now 38-30. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Boston Red Sox, and the Red Sox were able to pull off a 10-8 win to pick up their 42nd win of the season. For the Atlanta Braves, the start would go to Ian Anderson. He allowed 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss would go to their third relief pitcher, Shane Green. Green would allow 3 earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With this loss, he's now 0-1. In their batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., will go 3 for 5 with an RBI. Their elite first baseman, their reigning National League MVP, Freddie Freeman, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as well as 2 walks. He would hit his 16th home run of the season yesterday. Their left fielder, Abraham Almonte, would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, would go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 11th home run of the season. And their center fielder, Guillermo Heredia, would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. For the Boston Red Sox, the start would go to Garrett Richards. Garrett Richards would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win will go to their second relief pitcher, Yaxel Rios. He allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitched, but with this win, he's now 1-0 on the season. The save will go to Adam Ottavino. He allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitched, and he struck out a batter. With the save, Ottavino now has 4 on the season. In their batting lineup, their elite left fielder, JD Martinez, would go 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their right fielder, Hunter Renfroe, will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run himself. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are now 42-27, and with this loss, the Atlanta Braves are now 30-35. Jumping out to Houston, the Houston Astros took on their in-state division rival, the Texas Rangers, and the Astros were able to pull off an 8-4 win at home, giving Zach Greinke his 7th win of the season. For the Texas Rangers, the start and the loss would go to Jordan Lyles. He would allow 5 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3 on the day. With this loss, Jordan Lyles is now 2-5 on the season as a starting pitcher. In their batting lineup, their right fielder, Eli White, would end up going 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He would be the only player with more than 1 hit as he hit his 2 hits of the day were his first 2 home runs of the season. For the Houston Astros, the start and the win will go to Zach Greinke, former American League Cy Young winner. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, he is now 7-2 on the season as a starting pitcher. And in their batting lineup, their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 14th and 15th home runs of the season yesterday. And then their right fielder, Chas McCormick, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 7th and 8th home runs of the seasons. And then their catcher, Martin Maldonado, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 5th home run of the season. A lot of home runs for Houston, and with this win, the Houston Astros are now 39-28. With this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 25-43. Jumping out to the Bay, the San Francisco Giants hosted the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Giants were able to pull off a 13-7 win to give the Diamondbacks yet another loss to their record. The Giants scored all 13 of their runs in the first 5 innings of the game. For the Diamondbacks, the start and the loss will go to Merrill Kelly. He allowed 4 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, Merrill Kelly is now 2-7 on the season. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Josh Rojas, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Their center fielder, Ketel Marte, would go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs for himself. And then their catcher, Steven Vogt, would go 2 for 4 with a run. For the San Francisco Giants, the start and the win would go to Anthony DeSclafani, who would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this win, DeSclafani is now 7-2 on the season as a starting pitcher. In their batting lineup, their left fielder Lamonte Wade Jr. will go 2 for 6 with an RBI and 2 runs. Wade would hit his 4th home run of the season. Their future Hall of Fame catcher Buster Posey would go 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs, as Buster Posey would hit his 12th home run of the season. Their first baseman Brandon Belt would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 9th home run of the season. And then their center fielder Steven Duggar would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs, as Duggar would hit his 6th home run of the season. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 43-25, and with this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 20-49. Jumping up to Seattle, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Minnesota Twins. The Twins were able to beat the Mariners 7-2 after scoring all 7 of their runs before in the first 5 innings before the Mariners could score at all. For the Seattle Mariners in this matchup, the start and the loss would go to Justice Sheffield. Justice Sheffield would allow 7 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, he is now 5-6 on the season. Nobody on their team would finish with more than 1 hit, and a lot of that can be attributed to great pitching for them from Minnesota. The start for the Twins would end up going to Bailey Ober. Ober allowed no earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win would go to the first relief pitcher, Caleb Thielbar. He would allow 1 earned run in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, Thielbar is now 1-0 as a relief pitcher for Minnesota. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, Jorge Polanco, would end up going 3 for 5 with 3 runs. Their catcher, their catcher Ryan Jeffers, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 27-41, and with this loss, the Seattle Mariners are now 34-36. Last but not least, jumping out to Los Angeles and Dodger Stadium, the defending champs hosted the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Phillies were able to pull off a 2-0 win as they scored both of their runs in the first 2 innings of the game. The start and the loss for the Dodgers would go to their goated starting pitcher, Clayton Kershaw. He allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 9 on the day. With this loss, Clayton Kershaw is 8-6 on the season as a starting pitcher. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Gavin Lux, would go 2 for 3 as he was the only LA Dodger with more than 1 hit. For the Philadelphia Phillies, the start and the win would go to Zach Wheeler. He allowed no earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6, and the save would go to Hector Neris. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched, and he would pick up his 10th save of the season. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Odubel Herrera, would go 2 for 5 with a run. And then their second baseman, Luke Williams, would end up going 3 for 4 on the day. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 33-33. Alongside them. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 41-27 on the season. That's what's going on in baseball from yesterday, Wednesday, June 6th. Jumping outside the continent to take a look at what's been going on with soccer. There were no Copa America games, so the only games were in the European Championship. First off, Finland hosted Russia, and Russia was able to pull up a 1-0 win off of a goal in extra time in the first half from Miranchuk. In the second game, Aaron Ramsey was able to help lead Wales to a 2-0 win over Turkey as Ramsey scored the first goal of the game. And Italy hosted Switzerland in the third game as they were able to pull up a 3-0 win to gain what they needed in the table. Right now, Italy is sitting at the very top of that table with 6 points. Wales, with their win over Turkey, they now sit second in the table with 4 points. And with that win, Italy was able to clinch a spot in the knockout round. And looking at what Finland and Russia are doing, with this win for Russia and Finland both sit with 3 points in the middle of the table, and right now they're looking forward to what's going on today. But with that said, that is what soccer is looking like following yesterday, and that is what all the sports were looking like from yesterday, Wednesday, June 6th, 2021. And once again, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and once all today's matchups and exhibitions are finished, I will come back tomorrow on Thursday, or I will come back tomorrow, Friday, June 18th, 2021 for another installment of The Elite. But until then, I want to thank ESPN, the MLB, NBA, NHL, UEFA websites for, of course, giving me the data that I needed to, of course, do the show. And with that said, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to my piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with another episode tomorrow. Peace out.